some of you were here for the recap of last week, which wasn't really a recap. It was more of us just watching the last 10 minutes of of last week's session.
I needed it, so I'm okay with it.
I also needed it. I also did, yes. You finally departed from Seor and headed out into the jungles of the Radalath Isles, coming across a group known as the Outcast. A couple of bandits. Who knows how big their organization actually is, but they weren't necessarily aggressive, and neither were you, but there was just kind of a weird miscommunication where one of them was really dumb and like either fell out of a tree, or I forget exactly what happened with that, but you did end up fighting and dispatching all of those that were at the camp and looted their chest of goodies and got a couple magic items out of that. You then decided to depart, assuming that if you stayed in the camp that perhaps the others of the troop might come back and you didn't want to have to deal with them. You cut your way through the foliage and underbrush, through the rotten jungle floor, to carve out a small spot for yourselves to camp down for the evening, and are resting. Well, you're hanging out for approximately 2 hours before taking a long rest, because it was decided that the group needed a long rest, and we discovered we've been playing Dungeons and Dragons with long rests incorrectly for the past 3.5 years, and yeah, so you have to wait.
Discovered while I was gone.
You have to. Yeah. Is it, what, now I've forgotten. Is it 8 hours in between?
An 8 hour interval
One
in between.
every 24 hours.
Yeah.
That's what it said, but then Chris said what he does for his rules, and I said I liked that, and that's what we decided to go with, which was 8 hours in between each long rest to be able to benefit from it, which I feel is very fair. So
after 8 hours of being awake, I could go back to sleep for 8 hours.
Exactly.
I can go to sleep for 12 hours right now. I've only been awake for an hour and a half, so.
You're special. You're special, Tim.
I am very special. So. Have you made a campfire for yourselves?
Have we?
It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. There is some light from the sun kind of beating down through the multicolored leaves and the branches above and the vines hanging down, giving you this kind of canopy-esque feeling. The extreme humidity sets in, or has been setting in this entire time, but now being more stationary than before and realizing that you're just resting in the middle of a swamp. It's the oppression of the sheer amount of bugs and the snakes and all the other wildlife that you see around just kind of sets in. And if you wanted to cook anything, of course, you would set up a fire. I'm not sure that the fire would bring you any relief from the heat and humidity that's here, but...
Yeah, I don't think we'd want a fire with how warm it is, and then just... Yeah.
Okay.
Give ourselves away at night if that was the case, so I think we're gonna... That's my vote, at least.
Is the sun down already, or is the sun still up?
So you have about an hour and a half before the sun begins to go down.
It feels comfortable to me. There is no need for a fire.
Well, I mean, a fire would attract more bugs, and there's already an abysmal amount of bugs out here. Can we set a fire like 100 yards away where all the bugs will go instead of being here?
You just want to set a fire.
That's not entirely untrue.
Yeah, but a fire can be seen at night, so if we're trying to avoid being rolled up on by them bandits again...
Right, but if we set it 100 yards away, they'll be traipsing through the woods towards it, and then we'll know, and we'll have to drop on.
Pulls them in our direction, though, which we could just avoid altogether.
That's fair, I guess.
I think
Could set it 100.
would go without it.
100 feet closer to the ruins that we believe is their base. I just want to set something on fire. Garen's right.
B2 will hand him a twig.
This is not enough, B2. Think big. Think big. Big, big, big.
Well, what if he's got a point? You could just like get a bunch of them and just do them in succession, so it's just kind of going the whole time, and you just keep burning
Oh.
stuff.
Yeah, it's like a little fidget thing.
Like quantity over quality.
Yeah.
That's not terrible. I'll workshop it. I'll brainstorm with
A fire.
You know
fidget
who.
cube?
Huh?
Like a fire fidget cube, a fire fidget spinner.
So
So no fire.
those bandits were kind of odd, right?
I feel like they were new.
They didn't feel very trained.
Most
Yeah,
bandits
I'm
aren't.
wondering who this captain of theirs is, if he's anything to talk about.
Yeah.
He was just left in
unorganized.
charge. At least that's what it seemed like.
Yeah,
That there's
they're-
actually someone else.
right.
I
Either way,
guess I'm kind of worried if they're gonna come try to find us.
they probably will if they show up anytime soon.
I mean, we did take things from them. Wait, did we take anything from them?
The rings, right?
Oh yeah, we got some stuff.
I'm just
Yeah.
showing him the ring. I don't know what
Yeah.
it does yet, actually. Garen just got given a ring, and he's like, okay.
Well, we've got a
Yeah,
resident
do it.
book nerd, so
Will you not identify them? We did.
No,
right?
we did. I just assumed that, like, I don't know if someone told Garen, and even if they did, I don't know if he understood. He's just like, okay, thanks.
we sat with the rings. I think you sat with the rings while we were setting up camp, getting everything ready in the multiple hours we have of downtime today.
Probably. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, didn't who got those rings? Where? Wasn't
think-
one of them?
I think you have one, and I have another. Right? That's what happened?
Thought so. I don't even remember the ring, what they were. Honestly,
There was the Brazen Band and
Oh,
Death's Mirror.
Yeah, that's the one I have.
Yeah, and I think Black Star is the Brazen Band.
I do. These fail same time things being frightened.
I gotta double check something.
Interesting. Brazen band. Oh, it doesn't require attunement. How lovely.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Excited to get into this.
So,
All right.
you-
Well, I mean,
oh, go ahead.
no, it's okay. Go for it.
So was that your first time running into those bandits?
No, we have a long history with them. Actually, we've seen them a few times now.
That's not true at all. That is the first time we run into those guys.
All right, you're no fun. I just want to say that out loud to your face.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, I indulge you when it's fun, but the poor guy doesn't know any better.
I mean, that's the best part about it. No offense, B2. I do like you, but it's fun to play tricks. You should get into it. You should try a trick once in a while. I'll help you with tricks. We can work on it.
That sounds like a grand idea. I think I would enjoy that.
Good. I'm glad.
You'd also be probably pretty good at it, seeing as how you can keep one mean straight face.
This is true. That's a good point.
B2 does the confused.
Sounds great.
That's it. That's the new. That's the new thing. We just do this from now on. That's it.
Wish.
Out of curiosity,
we got some downtime.
Black Star, why do you lie so much?
All right. Well, let me ask you this. Why are you made of metal?
I do not know. For all
All
I
right.
know, this is how I was made.
There you go.
Fair enough. You are made of lies.
That's probably true. Honestly, I'm surprised my eyes aren't brown, because I am mostly full of poo.
Understand. I will be more prepared to play along with the lies.
I love it. Ooh, I love that. You're the perfect straight man. Every group needs a straight man. You're it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're like the Ross to Friends.
I don't think I've read that book.
No one has. It was a screenplay I wrote for a theater back in Talnoro, but it was centered around like a cafe or inn of some sort. 5 people that are somehow, linked eternally. It was interesting. I liked it.
B2 takes a moment, looks at all of us, realizes there's 6, and kind of, we can't be friends.
Oh no, wait, there were 6 people. Yeah, never mind.
Oh, fantastic. We can
was-
be friends.
We can be. You're like Ross. I made a character named Chandler. Xander's like a Monica. I want to say, well, maybe I'm more like a Phoebe, I guess, and then the Chandler would probably be Rezzyr. Joey's probably Garen. No offense, Garen, but you're just big and strong. And then Louise.
Joey
Louis?
sounds like a fine name.
It is a fine name. You're doing great. Anyway, enough of that. What are we gonna go to sleep? Like we're going to see the hag, right?
Yeah. Shouldn't be but half-day travel, if that, through
Well,
whatever
sea witch.
these living trees. Yeah,
Right.
sea witch, whatever the difference is gonna be.
Well, if she hears us say hag too many times, she might be upset when we get there.
Great.
Some people are.
I think her daughter at the shop said something about trees letting her through, so we might have a bit of struggle through these woods ahead of us. Have to keep an eye out.
There's always fire.
Yeah. Worse comes worse. Ain't no giant tar river for you to set the whole island on fire here, so definitely more on the table than it was back there.
Good.
Look, I know you really wanted to, but it's on the table. Should we need to just like wipe this place off the map? Everything goes south, we got a extreme exit strategy.
And if we succeed at everything we're doing and then just happen to be leaving, we just also have something to do before we go.
Yeah, it depends on how you feel about Sayo Sayor.
I mean, it's no
Sayor
town
before
war.
we leave. Right.
Just put it out there. Anyway, all right. Well, I mean, I guess it's time to bed down, or we want to have a meeting.
time
Like,
still.
what are we doing when we get after we're done with the Sea Witch? We're gonna go to the labs. What's our aim? What's our goal there?
I mean,
To destroy
I
it.
remember.
Right.
Get rid of it,
Yeah, I get that, but like, is there
Look
anything
what
else?
they're doing there?
Is there anything to look for? Is there anything we're trying to gather? Like, should we try to get plans of theirs and intercept other things? Are we just going in there to set the whole thing ablaze and blow it up? Because we might not even need to go in to just seal it off. We could just create a cave in and let them, slowly expire.
Yeah, but they tend to have somewhat skilled individuals amongst their ranks, so like being buried might not be it. I think going in and making sure, and yeah, I think grabbing some stuff. Yeah. I mean, we learned about these bases because we grabbed stuff at the first one, so like the more information we can get out of them.
You get the
better.
other locations.
Yeah,
That would be smart.
Louise would
more
probably
ideas
pipe
we
up
have.
and bring up Buttercup at this point.
Oh yeah, that's right, Buttercup.
Yeah, see if we can find that pony.
Also, are we
Unicorn?
escorting that thing back
Unicorn?
to wherever? Where
Ooh.
did they go?
Talnora.
It went
Oh,
to
that's-
El Noro.
Well, perfect.
Yeah, it's kind of also was our next stop if we're heading for the labs.
Right.
Was the Caldera.
Move
But
us.
you've got your thing you kind of want to think about up north.
Yeah, Kesserac.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, if we get this pony, probably don't want to be dragging that thing around too far.
No, because then it'll probably die, and then Dreek will never forgive us.
Yeah. So I think, depending on whether we get this pony or not, might determine whether we go where next.
Now, you guys were talking about doors before. Like, what if they have one of those doors, or like some means of instant travel? Like, I feel like we should be prepared because we went to get Pluto, or what was his name? The one you ate the soul of. You know, sucked his brain right out of his head. Do you remember when you did that, Rezzyr? Xander, do you remember when he did that?
Yes.
Anyway,
Matthias?
yeah, him.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like we weren't prepared when we initially entered, and then the only reason things got easy is because they all abandoned ship. So, like, do we have a better plan approaching this next lab, which will probably be more guarded?
Well, I think we got two things going for us this time. Well, three things, actually. One, we ain't going to hop in the middle of them.
Right.
And numbers 2 and 3 are these two fellas. I point to.
I mean, that's fair, but counterpoint, a full frontal assault from the beginning to the end does not sound conducive to a successful operation.
What do you suggest?
I don't know. We could find a back way in or some sort of secondary entrance. Like every base has one. Like in Tal Nora, I'm pretty sure every house has at least 4 entry and exit points. You know, not good for thieves, but I mean, also great for thieves. So
I'm not really good at that.
yeah, but you're really good at like fighting things, and so you know, if there's a back entrance and you can fight things in the back entrance as opposed to fighting them at the front entrance where they probably have layers of defense set up for anyone invading through that entrance.
Okay.
I can fight things.
Well,
yeah.
I'm not so sure it's as much of a fortress as you might be making that to be. If you remember the other place, we basically strolled right in. We were in the middle of them before they even knew it.
I don't
Back in
remember
Beacon.
The other place.
Oh yeah, you weren't there for that. So the last place we were at, I think their main form of like defense in these places is that they are hidden, supposed to be. Just the fact that we have this intel on them is what's giving us the upper hand.
Yeah, they don't. So you're saying you don't imagine them to be so heavily guarded because they assume no one even knows they exist.
I'm sure there'll be guards, but I don't think there'll be so much like fortifications, like it's a fortress or something we're attacking. At least that wasn't the way it was in the last place. It was just hidden, and then they had some security and whatnot. So obviously we should want to look around and see what we can find for other entrances and whatnot. But
yes, what if they hold more prisoners there?
Yeah, good chance of that. Every base really. They ain't averse to grabbing folk. So.
Oh, wasn't there that woman we let go?
Yeah, running back off to wherever it was near that mountain.
Oh right, yeah,
what if he just went through the lab and has ratted us out of this?
Well, that's the risk we took, not killing her.
Whose idea was that?
Kind of the group's, I think. We were not so into just
what, murdering Chainless?
And in everybody.
I mean, she's chainless, so I mean, is she even a person at this point?
I concur.
At this point, outside of the camp, everyone hears a sound. And then it's like some kind of strange crackling energy type sound, maybe 30 or 40 feet from your campsite. You can't really see out of the campsite because of all of the foliage unless you decided to make it so that you could see out in certain directions, but everything's like 5 or 6 feet tall around you, and so like I'm assuming that in between the trees you kind of created this smaller space for you to be resting in. But as the sun has begun to go down at this point, it's gotten darker and darker, and there's this kind of purplish flash of energy that kind of reflects off of the tree foliage or canopy above you. And then a few seconds later, like as you're having this conversation, it's like you thought you heard something and you kind of looked and like maybe there was a little bit of a flashing light, and then it was gone, and there's no other sounds besides this crackling energy. And then further off, like maybe 100 feet, there's another
Am I still poisoned at this point?
No, poison lasts an hour, or however long. How many? Did you roll a d4? I think it was
You,
like.
you,
think
I think
It
you.
was an hour.
It was
think.
1 hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was ending when we got to the bandit camp.
Oh.
So the extra few hours we traveled these.
Question about inspiration. How long does that last? Because I never got to use
Ooh.
mine
Until
you
you
use
use it.
Until you use it.
until I use it.
Bardic
Or
inspiration.
give it to someone else.
regular inspiration.
Bardic inspiration.
Oh, 10 minutes.
Okay, so it's gone. Yeah. Good to know.
Good catch.
So I'm assuming that somebody in the camp would be like, "Oh, I hear this noise, and there's these weird
that's
bits of light."
Yeah,
But it continues to happen over the 15 seconds it takes you to stand up and walk around the side of this foliage to try and like climb up something to look up and over to see what's going on. In that span of 15 seconds, this noise and this coloration within the jungle here happens like maybe 3 or 4 times. And who's jumping up and going to look and see what this is?
I'll point it out, but I'm not going out.
I'm definitely. I already got up the minute I heard something the first time. But I was more in a defensive stance, and now I'm actually trying to investigate what the noise is.
I think B2 would go with him.
Okay. How do you go about getting a better vantage point?
Uh,
Do you just start hacking your way out into the jungle, or do you like try and climb a tree for like 6 feet? Doesn't take not hard to.
I think I'd try to climb.
Yeah.
I try to climb.
Same.
Okay. So you guys, not too far from where your camp is. There's trees everywhere, so you kind of find a couple of gnarled branches and get up and look, and you see that indeed there is a portal or doorway that seems to be opening for a couple of seconds and then disappearing. The one that you catch or that you see happening as you get up to the tree and kind of look out and get this perspective, it creates a break in the ferns and everything, almost like it's burning it away, creating these small little pockets where this door is opening. And this particular one that you see, a couple of fireflies come just floating out of it and out into the jungle, not harming anything. They look more glowy than normal, maybe a little bit bigger. They don't look like they're harming anything or have a purpose. They're just kind of floating outwards. You do, from your perspective, you can actually see through the portal, and on the other side, it looks to be another jungle of some kind, maybe a much more vibrant, colorful landscape on the other side. But the topography looks similar to where you are now, just in the brief couple of seconds you had to look through. As this one closes, and you take this information as it's all happening at the same time, you see some of the brush kind of like moving, and it seems to be heading like in a horizontal direction from your position, not heading towards you. You hear a sound of something muttering under their breath. You catch the top of, like, as it's emerging from some of these bushes, the top of a furry looking head with some horns kind of curled back to the side that you hear. I don't know, what languages does B2 and Garen speak?
Oh yeah, I study a lot, man. Common and Orc.
Common and Orc. And is B2 like Data? B2 knows everything.
No, he only knows Common and Sylvan.
Sylvan.
Thank you. I don't
Gotcha.
know why I struggle with that.
Sylvain.
Funny enough, this creature is speaking in Sylvan,
What?
which is very, very interesting. Didn't expect that. Didn't look beforehand. Anyways, it's just like this really high pitched, like, I can't believe this is happening to me. Why am I here? I was just taking a walk through the forest, and then I don't say curse words, but says a couple curse words under their breath and continues on. There's another like 10 feet from where this little head kind of popped up and went back into the foliage. Another one of these portals open up, and there's the bushes. You hear like, and the bushes are moving wildly as it runs for the portal and like dives through, and you catch the full sight of this creature as it dives through this newly opened portal, and it looks like it's a satyr. I don't know if I need to give you a description of what a satyr looks like, but as opposed to going into all of that, definitely has the larger, bottom half of it with the goat leg type scenario, and seems to be wearing a very fine coat, almost like I'm gonna get my time frames way off. I wanted to call it a Napoleon outfit, but it's like a very fine like buttoned coat in the front with kind of like poofy, frilly white shirt underneath, and just kind of like dives through, and you see it land on the other side of the portal as some kind of small furry like cat-like creature comes through the portal from the other direction, and then the portal goes away. This happens a few more times, mostly fireflies coming through. I've done a lot of talking.
Thomas.
Do we happen to see a lamppost on the other side of that portal?
Yeah.
I actually don't get that reference.
Lion the Witch and Wardrobe.
Oh, yeah. Haven't read it, haven't seen it.
Fair enough. I think I will share with Garen what I learned from the conversation I listened into, or I guess the self-conversation.
Monologue.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm forgetting words today. All right. Today's going to be a fun day.
That's what we're here for.
Mm-hmm.
And let's report back to the group.
Yeah. I don't know what just happened at all. I'm going to climb down the tree and go to Xander and ask him if he knows anything about teleporting creatures or this forest or marsh area, if this is normal around here.
Do you share the information with the rest of the group, or do you just go over and whisper to Xander, or are you saying this out loud so everyone can have a share?
I just assume he's the smartest person, so that's why I go to him. But I'm not keeping it from everyone. I'm just giving the question to him to hopefully get the answer.
Okay.
So, Tim, a couple of questions here. One, the portal, just so I'm understanding this correctly, the like blips that were appearing, the satyr was coming out of it, right, into where we are, into the forest.
So they didn't see whatever portal brought the satyr to this area, but they saw it exit. So when the portal opened, it ran and dove through to get back from where it came, or to where it came. Rather.
So now it's so it went back to where it came. Okay.
Right. Like it accidentally fell through a portal and was in the jungle.
Right. Okay.
But there was a small furry creature that did come through that last portal. So there's something.
There is something here. Okay.
Yeah, I'll describe what it looked like so they know what we saw specifically.
And then two, does this world, because we haven't done really anything with planes outside of that one thing with the fiend, does this world have like environmental ties to different realms? Like, is that like a phenomenon that's not necessarily proven but is discussed?
So I know it's been
been forgotten knowledge.
Yes, correct. So it's been quite a long time since we've dealt with something like this, but you did learn, the whole group learned that after the now I can't remember my own lore. Either after the first apocalypse or the first Titan attacked, something or someone, I think it was after the first apocalypse, cut off. Yeah.
All planar travel?
All planar travel. So no one has been able to access the Feywild, the Shadowfell, or any of the elemental planes. Nothing. Or the nine hells that don't really exist in my world because I don't dabble in that. But anyways,
any other planes.
Right, just any planes in general.
Correct.
Also, on top of that, all the people that were powerful enough to do planar travel kind of got lost. So it's 2 layers of isolation.
Yeah, except for me though.
Yeah, eventually you'll be pioneer to these.
I'll be a pioneer.
But you did find that crystal that had planar travel in Joran Kor's mansion before it fell into the ground, which you then found out that he was a vampire who also has a spaceship. So there's
shenanigans
Well,
afoot.
yeah.
Creepy.
I
So
mean,
So this is the second time that you've encountered any kind of connection to any plane other than the material plane.
oh, hold on, wait. Well, I was looking through my inventory when you mentioned the gem. 18 days until the Tome of Clear Thought resets. Um. Okay. Uh. That doesn't really sound like anything that's happened in. I mean, decades, hundreds, 100 years. It has to be somewhere in that realm. I mean, it sounds like planar travel. It's not like what'd you say this thing looked like? It was like
It looked like a goat boy.
A goat boy.
like a goat boy.
like a kid.
It was a very small creature with a goat boy is actually really a really good way of describing it.
So it sounds like that's a satyr, and it sounds like there's a very rare instance of planar travel occurring around us right now.
That's safe, right?
Maybe, but that's not something that's happened in forever, which could mean that there might be more afoot, which could mean that perhaps the fiend that we saw a couple weeks ago is not a one-off.
You saw a fiend?
Yeah. All red and winged and horned and evil.
Wow, it's actually really
But
cool.
if that's
Didn't,
actually the case, I'm gonna stand up and open up my notebook. I'm gonna take a walk.
What?
I'll
where?
go with you. Just
You're not
in
going by
case.
yourself.
Yeah. Also, didn't we hear that one of the things they're doing at this lab is using that pony to try and dabble in that and opening
Yeah,
portals?
but we're
and
nowhere
such?
near the lab yet. Why would it be way up here?
That's
Well,
such a
it's-
great
I mean-
sentence.
It's an experimental process. There
Who
could
knows
be
if they've got control of it?
any number of reasons.
You guys have mentioned
when
this
you-
pony a few times now. What are you talking
the
about?
Little unicorn. I think we did mention it to you.
Oh, did you? Okay.
I think we've told you about the unicorn.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
in my notes as something I know. So
Then I need to write it down.
Like Blackstar, you know how sometimes you go to like throw a rock or something and it like leaves your hand weird and flies off in a random direction?
Sure.
It might be something like that. They're trying to do something, or they're getting their aim wrong, or like it's just happening outside of their control. Who knows what's going on? I'm not sure how that kind of magic shenanigans work.
isn't that kind of how humans are made?
What? I don't know. I'm not human still.
What? Throw. I'm not sure what you're. Anyway, so yeah, there's a chance it's that, but there's also a chance that who knows what's going on around this sea witch's place in these magic woods.
Right.
But yeah, if you want to take a look, a few of us will go with you and keep an eye out on things.
I want to see the goat boy again.
Wait, are we all going then, or is someone? I mean, I guess. Does anyone really need to stay here?
I mean,
Yeah, we're not really
no.
setting up tents or nothing.
We're not married to this exact spot, right? Not yet.
Yeah, it's not just a safe little spot we made for ourselves.
Yeah,
All right, let's go.
we've just been
Let's go
sitting here and
slap the goat
talking.
boy.
so.
And you did say it went back through one of them portals, so there ain't nothing.
Yeah,
you're
he
worried
just
about?
muttered a bunch of nonsense and swan
But then
dived
something-
into another portal.
Something else furry came through.
It was a
Alright.
cat.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wish to pet the cat.
There's
Alright.
there's definitely a and a small tabby cat comes out through the foliage. It looks like it's a kitten. It has bright red eyes and
how many
That's-
tails?
just one tail.
Oh, okay.
It's not a normal
Oh
cat.
man, dude, we were about to go Naruto mode and everything.
It looks like the air around it is being displaced, almost like it's generating so much heat that there's You're magicizing it.
Magic eyes. Oh yeah.
Okay. You know, it does have a magical aura to it. It is not illusion magic, but it is not any kind of magic that you've seen
traditional
before.
school.
It's not a traditional school. It's just a magic creature of some kind. It just by nature is magical. Just kind of walks up and it has this kind of like almost not steam, but just kind of moves the air a bit, just a little bit as it's walking through, and kind of gets into the small clearing that you're in and just kind of sits there and like looks around, eyeing you, begins to kind of lick its paw and clean itself.
I don't trust this at all.
I'm looking around from where it came from just to see if there's anything else coming.
You don't see anything.
I produce flame and toss it like right in front of the cat. Just a little fire. Not at it, just like right near it.
Just a little psh of fire. Seems
Hey,
unfazed.
Lou, you want to try and talk to this thing?
Here he goes. Here we go,
Gonna
guys.
make me RP Louise with a
You see,
cat.
earlier he's like, "Come on, I'm better than that, guys. Like, I'm not just a 5." And now he's
I
like,
don't get many
"Seriously, you're gonna make me do it? Seriously?"
I don't know that.
Well, the thing is do I talk just normally, or
Yes,
do I try and do a French accent, or
No.
like a Quebecian accent? Because
Canonically, Louise does not have a French accent. Felix's is just that thick.
so then Louise
Yeah.
just would sound like a normal,
A normal human?
not non.
Adorable.
That's not what I said. You put those words in my mouth.
A normal.
I'm gonna
English
say in this
Common
particular
speaker.
instance, the conversation he cast speak with animals, and it's supposed to work on creatures, not on or on animals rather, not on fey creatures. And however, I did allow it to work with Buttercup, even though it wasn't supposed to, when that turned into an amazing experience. So I'm gonna still bend the rules on this, but I'm going to allow one of you to talk to it through Louise, meaning having him have the conversation with it. Who is going to do that? Or are you all going to just throw input like you're all having a conversation with it?
Yeah.
Yelling at Louise?
We'll
Tell
group
this-
puppet this
Yeah.
this conversation.
Okay. So he casts Speak with Animals. What do you have him say?
Ask it what it is and where it's from.
Yeah.
Okay. So he asks it the question.
Does it understand you?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
The first time we've ever heard Louise's real voice, guys.
So the cat responds, I was just making my way through the forest and was enjoying myself, having a fine day, and found myself in this rather drab area. Who are you and what are you doing here?
Well, I mean, we're trial and error. We're here on a mission, on a quest of sorts. What were you traveling through the forest for?
Hunting, looking for fish. There's a stream not far from here that I like to enjoy. The striped bass in the stream that leads to this really recessed pool. There's a couple of mermaids there. They're my friends. I was going to go visit them and bring them a few fish. We have a nice dinner plans in place, and I needed to sharpen my claws, so I was going there. They like to just kind of give me some belly rubs and help me with that, so. That's just silence.
There's so much I want to know. I like.
Ask it if it wants belly rubs right now.
Oh, I reserve this this fine coat for the finer women of the water.
He's a baller.
What a
I only
champion.
let the ladies touch me.
I wish you gave him
Okay.
a Stewie voice. That's how I'm hearing it.
Have you ever been here before in this type of environment?
I've been in jungles before and have enjoyed jungles. This one is lacking in color. You know, they say that we're not supposed to be able to see color. But from where I'm from in my family line, I'm able to see plenty of color, and this place is pretty drab, I have to say. Kind of wet, a lot wetter than what I'm used to. So,
What?
How long?
Oh, go ahead.
No.
What is the purpose of the portals, or what are the portals?
Portals? I don't know. I was just kind of walking and daydreaming about the ladies. I just happened to end up here. There was this weird man who was just kind of like, running, and then he kind of dove, and I had to kind of like move out of the way, and then I just ended up here, and here we are. I heard you talking and thought maybe I was still heading in the right direction. I thought maybe the women had gotten sick and their voices were a couple octaves lower than what they're supposed to be, So maybe I'd gotten there sooner, but yeah, here we are. I didn't see a portal.
Have you ever seen anyone like us before?
Like you, yes.
Like me?
Like you specifically.
What
Yes.
about the others?
Kind of like nonchalantly looks everyone up and down, glances over Xander and Louise, and kind of nods. Yeah, there's others like you. Looks to Garen. Not so much you. To Rezzyr. Just shakes his head. And then
One of a kind. One of a kind.
Looks
I thought he was
over-
gonna drop an F-bomb.
looks over
F no.
looks over to B2, and there's just like this long pause from this small little tabby kitten,
Hey.
just kind
Pause
of
from the
looking
cat.
at B2. Are you sure you're supposed to be here?
Know where I'm supposed to be.
Oh. Interesting.
Have you seen others like me?
Haven't you?
No.
Well, you got any fish around here for me to have any dinner, or just we're just going to sit here and talk about where we came from? I gave you like my whole life story in like 2 seconds, and now you're still asking me questions. I'm not exactly sure. You're asking me lots of questions. I just got here, and so I'm just kind of a little bit hungry because I was expecting some fish, and
Well, we're on our way to a very large body of water where you could potentially get new and exotic fish. Would you like to accompany us?
in a place like this, you're saying that there's more exotic fish, despite the fact. What does the fish taste like here? Is it like nice and sweet, and like you can really just kind of rub yourself all over it, or like how do you feel about the fish in the waters here? Because
Oh.
like you're
Me personally, I love to cover myself in the oils of the fish and rub it on my skin before I chow down on it. And it's got an exquisite flavor, very rich and deep, but at the same time hints of sweetness and like honey almost.
so it's just like at home, because this doesn't really feel like home. So that's good.
Oh,
That's
well,
good to hear. Make a deception
yeah,
check.
He really is made of lies. I whisper to Garrett. I mean, not to Garrett, to B2.
Terrible.
Just to yourself.
A 17 on a 5.
Trash.
He just kind of looks you up and down and nods. Well, I guess I'm going to go and see if I can find some of these fish in this water nearby. Were you inviting me to go with you? Is that what the...
Yes, so obviously you're not familiar with where you are now. It might be dangerous to travel alone. You should just stay with us for a while. At least you know that we haven't attacked you yet. and we're mostly harmless to tiny little felines such as yourself. If you wandered off into the darkness, who knows what might happen? I would be remiss if you never made it to the fish.
You're not friends with the fairies and the other...
I gotta cut in here. I'm sorry. There are no fairies here.
He just looks at you, like just in disbelief, like you're, I don't know, naive or something. Right. No fairies. Okay. I'm not afraid of anything in these woods just because they look different, or they actually, truth be told, I recognize where we are. It just looks different because of the color scheme and the amount of, bushes and stuff that are around. So, I feel perfectly comfortable. Nobody's going to see me. I'm just going to go and make my way. I don't really see a reason why I would go with you. You mentioned you haven't attacked me yet. That's not normally something I have to worry about where I'm from, and I have not met some people somewhat like you. You look a little different, and that's not the problem. But you, and points at Blackstar, your people, they like to try to eat my kind, and I'm just not really, I've never been caught before. 300 years, never been caught, and so I don't intend on having that happen now. And if I want to take a little bit of a cat nap, I'm not going to worry about having to watch my back with you in the camp there. So I was just coming over to see what was up, and now I've seen what's up, and we got somebody who, escaped the royal court, pointing towards B2, and we got somebody who's, I don't know, dead maybe, and some other strange individuals, and somebody with some... do you have, does Garen have tusks? I've forgotten whether or not Garen has.
Yeah, it's 2 smaller
tusks.
ones. Yeah, they're not that big though.
Like some kind of deformed beaver. I'm not sure what's happening here, but
which royal court?
Oh, well, I don't know. They all have them.
Okay, no. So here's where the disconnect is. No royal courts here have people who look like B2.
Okay.
Are you saying that I am from the same place you are?
Apparently I am too, B2, so just... I'm not. I'm from Town North, but still.
I'm not a beaver.
Look. I don't...
No.
I don't pretend to know where the royal courts get what they get, where it comes from, how it got there. I am literally a cat.
Right. What I'm saying is I don't think you're not from here.
It might be your problem, not thinking enough.
No, trust me, I do more than enough. You're not from this plane of existence.
I don't really know what that means. I just know that I like fish and
Oh
mermaids.
my god!
Stop flexing your brain on him, Xander. All right, little friend, be careful out there.
What is your name? What is your name?
Oh.
Oh, let me.
It's your name.
Let me generate one really quick.
Tab bias.
Tobias.
I want that to be his name now.
So, us cats, you don't speak the cat language, or at least one of you does, right? So it's kind of a little hard to pronounce. So in your really ugly language that you all like to use and converse with each other with, there are people that they refer to me as Neremyn.
Neremyn.
That's a pretty cool name.
I'll put you in here as an enemy.
It's Neremyn.
Oh yeah, I was I was actually pretty close.
Can you give it one more time? I'm sorry.
Yeah, what?
Neremyn.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, wasn't terribly off.
Yes, Jason, I like to name things. You know this. I just don't always have their names on the tips of my tongue. That's all.
That is a weakness of mine too.
Yep. Super,
Alright.
super like naming
Fake
things.
at Neremyn. He's a bit of a see you next Tuesday.
So I guess I'm gonna go looking for these fish, and you know where the large body of water is, so I can go and have a blast, as they say.
Yeah, and I point towards Sayor instead of towards the sea hag because I'm not a huge fan of this cat anymore. He's
I'm not. I didn't. The minute I was called a deformed beaver, I was ready to kick it, but I was trying to respect everyone.
So the cat actually walks through all of you, like not caring that you could cause it harm, perhaps at any particular time. And it's like would fit in the palm of your hand. As this little tiny kitten walks through, and as it does, you hear this like sound. It's almost like sounds like the very start of a motorcycle, like turning on or revving up, I guess. But it's very, very muted, and that's the sound of whatever this heat that's being generated and coming off of it as it makes its way out of the other side of the clearing. As it exits, there's a sound from like all around you at all different intervals. There's one like 10 feet above the clearing up in the trees, and a bunch of fireflies just come flying out.
Starting to get annoying.
Cat, you might want to find one of them portals and hop through to get back home.
I'm working on it, thank you.
Yeah.
So he
alright.
does get it.
I kind of want to eat it now. Like if
Oh, you want to do exactly what he said we do, or you do specifically?
Yeah, he said people that look like I've never seen anyone that looks like me before, honestly. And if that's what they do, then I feel like I'm just missing out on a cultural, step in.
Mhm.
I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm not against it. I don't like it.
I figured you wouldn't mind it, Beaver Man.
Mm.
And then Black Star changes, so he matches Garen's height and
Oh,
build
no.
and everything,
No.
except for the face is Garen's into the mouth, and it's got actual beaver teeth, and there's a beaver tail. Do you think he saw you like this? Is this how you think it was?
I love Black Star.
I'm going to. I'm going to walk away.
Everyone, do I look just like Garen right now?
You look like a fool.
Yeah, that's fair. And I turn into Xander. I will walk over to Xander. All right, what do you think? I took some notes on this thing, and I really think it's interesting. We should probably investigate something about it more.
Are you done?
I turn back into Black Star. Everyone's so sour today.
I mean, when you're
2 hours
like
ago,
that.
we were in the middle of combat.
Yeah, but you guys handled it easily. I barely did anything. This is the first combat I've never actually been hit in. So
Mhm. Speaking of combat, you guys handled yourselves pretty well. I've never seen magic like you guys at all, to be honest.
I mean, in our defense, we didn't die before we got to you. So I mean, there's something to be said about our skills.
Now it's in my defense.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, Garen. Look at you. You know what? No longer a beaver. You've redeemed yourself in my eyes.
Yeah.
Right.
Only-
Anyway, Xander, you still want to go take a look around? See him spot one of them portals? Or you want to stick around here?
Yeah, I'll take a look around.
Xander, Rezzyr asked you a question. Why are you being so short with him?
You know why.
I know, but it's fun to bring it up. I'm gonna go with Xander. I'll take a look with him.
Anybody else going you all going as a group or just the two of them?
How far are you planning to explore?
I mean, not too far. I'm just kind of intending on trying to follow sounds, catch glimpses, and just see what it actually looks like. I mean, it's not feasible to go through because we don't know what kind of anomaly this could be, and we don't know when things might open up or if they will ever open up again. So it's it's something that you just kind of have to sit back, observe, take notes, and hope there's a next time.
B2, you should come with us because it would be terrible if only the two of us went and somehow one of the smaller of the two of us fell through a portal and was lost.
It would be even worse if we somehow got a glimpse into a portal or something came through a portal that maybe looked like you and
right.
you weren't there.
All right. I'm just joking, Xander. Come on, B2, come with us.
Very well. But B2 turns a second to Rezzyr. I do have questions for you that I wish to understand. Please, make sure that we have time to speak.
Sure.
And B2 will follow Xander.
Don't go to sleep, Rezzyr. We all know how tired you get.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. So the three of you head out into the jungle, not going too far, but just kind of keeping an eye out. The little snippets that were occurring seem to have gone away for now, but it was only maybe 5 minutes ago that the first one occurred, had the conversation with the cat, and then another one happened as it was exiting. So you wait 3 or 4 or 5 more minutes, and it begins happening again. Everybody who's keeping an eye out in the jungle, I'd like a perception check from them, please.
I'm so good at these. Gladly.
Lol.
B2 is a little distracted right now.
I'm a little distracted.
Ooh.
Where's B2's roll?
It's coming.
There it is.
Wow.
Yeah, do the best.
Okay.
Not good.
Good job,
Good.
Blackstein.
So there's you get out a little ways, you hear the first one kind of like behind you, and you turn around and you like try to scramble through, but your foot gets caught in some of the vines beneath, and you're trying to like clamber up and over, and Blackstar starts getting really excited about seeing it before you see it so that he can tell you about what he saw, and like tries to go and like walk up and over you to get above the brush, but then falls himself into the brush and gets completely tangled. And
Oh, sweet Christmas.
yeah, there's definitely some pricker bushes and whatnot that you've fallen into, and you even a couple of seconds later, once you detangle yourself from this, you Blackstar specifically does catch one of these portals, and as you're looking at it, kind of like on an angle, you see through like a small rock outcropping and a small waterfall. It looks beautiful with the sun shining down through the trees and a couple of gold butterflies. This is all just in a small sliver that you can see at a diagonal through this portal. Nothing comes through or either direction, but as the portal disappears, you see where its perspective was. There is an outcropping of rocks, exactly like what you saw, but there's no waterfall. And you kind of like go over to that area and you see the remnants of what was a stream in this area at one point.
Xander,
Huh?
did you see through it?
No.
It was the strangest thing. It was almost as if it was a picture of what is here, but it was different. There was a waterfall, there was a stream, there was more to it, more life, more vibrancy. And here it's just desolate.
Xander, in his notebook, he titles the top of his page "Eyewitness Testimony," and and writes down what you told him. That's really
Dubious.
interesting.
That sounds like what the cat was describing.
Which would make
Yeah,
sense
like it
as
was
to why it
similar.
was familiar, but not exactly on point.
It's weird. Why are these happening, do you think? And then I want to look where I saw the portal, see if there's any like markings on the grass or like the ground, or if there's anything weird in the like that general vicinity, like waves or
So
shimmer.
yeah, there are a couple of like shimmering like heat spots where some of these portals were, and after this 15 or 20-second interval of these portals like popping up all over the place and whatever, you're not able to catch most of them, but they do leave behind this kind of residual like curtain. It's not one that you can like grasp and hold on to, kind of like put your hand through it, and your hand, it's like a visual effect, like there's an illusion, but not quite, so your hand kind of gets a little wavy as you put your hand in that particular spot. But
Xander, look at this. Look at this.
Oh. And I'll do the same.
Wonder if there's some sort of residual magic that. Do you think you could tap into it and like reopen it or something like that?
I mean, maybe, but I don't think I'm strong enough for that.
Still, this is fun. I might be full of caca, but this is interesting.
Very. I wish I could find a way to channel this, but I just don't. I don't feasibly have. Ooh.
We could probably light things on fire and like watch the fire burn.
How does that help?
It helps me. B2, does this ring any bells for you? Like, I know you don't know a lot, but the thing said that it's seen things like you before. Does this knock anything loose in your, presumably full head? I don't know if you have a brain thing, but there's got to be something.
I think part of the reason B2 isn't being perception. Oh my goodness, perceiving things well. There we go.
Perception it.
Yeah,
Perception
he's really like focused in on his hands, and I think he'll look up and he'll. Sorry, no, nothing seems familiar. I do not. I don't even know what the Fae is. What, and is just kind of, he's always been robotic but now he's a little more frantic.
Have you had any memories that have come without you wanting them to before?
There
Sudden glimpses into anything?
There are moments where I feel like I am no longer in control. And after time has passed, things have changed.
Like you just don't, there's spots where things just, you're here and then all of a sudden you're here?
Yes, as if I've maybe journeyed without time, without realizing it. And sometimes there was one time in battle where I woke up, I would say, after battle and everyone was dead.
Oh Lord, that's not concerning at all.
Worry
Blackstar
not.
stepped behind Xander a little bit.
They were enemies to begin with.
Well, I mean, from what little we gathered from the cat, it sounds like possibly B2 has a history, maybe as a royal guard of some kind. Custom role to DM that's public is crazy.
Fantastic.
Wait,
But
it didn't make it private?
Did not.
It sounds like maybe B2 has a past as a royal guard. Maybe it's like a mode that, like, when you feel threatened or when people around you feel threatened, you kind of like shift into something that you're not normally, because you just have to have a different kind of instinct to kill. I mean, that's the way it is for people too. You know, like I don't naturally have the instinct to kill. That's something I'm still learning.
I've seen you throw giant fireballs at groups of people.
It's not an instinct though. It's like a conscious decision.
That's worse.
I know.
You're terrible.
Yeah.
B2's. Can you? I'm really sorry to ask this question, but
Yeah.
What did B2's eyes look like again? Just a brief description.
Yeah, I said it's. So this is one of my weaknesses. It's just the slot. The slot's just like in the mask where there's light. So it doesn't have like, you know how some robots have, you can have the sockets and it kind of looks like a. To me, it's just solid light. Because the more the lockets or the sockets are behind the.
Does the light
itself.
move as you're changing the direction you're looking, or do you actually move your head to look at things? Or that's the.
That's a good point. It's to me, it's my head. I'm moving the whole.
Gotcha.
Like wide angle lens, and you move your head to see more.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So all of you were having this conversation partially with B2 in focus about this. B2. There's a brief flash for you in your mind.
My heart's going. I'm excited.
I'm concerned.
God. Oh no.
Cut to
way.
Garen.
No way. No way.
Glaring at Rezzyr in a corner, and then back to them.
I feel like I want this music to be louder, but probably just on my end.
Ooh.
It's like super quiet for me for some reason.
Use your audio interface and turn it out.
So B2. Everything around you, just like as everyone's talking and you're talking, your words begin to slur slightly and everyone kind of catches that. But as opposed to a quick flash and you're somewhere else, everything just slowly closes in until it's just complete darkness. And then you hear the sound of rain all around you. You stand atop a pile of bodies in a war-torn country in the middle of the night with lightning firing down in the sky, hitting various points of a broken tower that's shattered and broken as stone clatters against the ground and into the mud, sending a cascade of wet raw material up and over another pile of bodies where you see another thing that looks like you, or perhaps is just clad in similar armor. You're not entirely certain, but as you look down at your bloodied hands, the katana gripped in one of them, you feel comfortable. The breath coming out of your mouth escapes and creates, and yes, I did say out of your mouth, there is a cloud of heat coming from it in the very cold, rainy atmosphere that you find yourselves in, or you find yourself in. This is a memory, and that's why you feel comfortable. But part of you doesn't understand what it's seeing. Why am I here? Who am I? The last thing you see, and this is all happening in but an instant, the last thing that you see as you look up and to the left is an army commander. One bearded individual who's holding a large banner aloft as they sit atop a horse, commanding the remainder of whatever army you're a part of, who is laying waste to the other large army that's fighting off in the distance as you've just finished dispatching your last foe. There's a large white beam of light firing off into the sky, far off in the distance, and your vision slowly closes in, but you fight back against it. You don't want to leave this space. You want to stay here. You want to continue the battle. You fight harder and harder. I'd like you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Yeah.
You're not quite strong enough to fight against it. You feel yourself begin to keel over and fall down the pile of bodies, one after the other, until you hit the bottom and the ground, and your vision, and you're back in your B2 self in the jungle, your friends looking at you.
I think if Xander, have you moved up and done that, or
Probably you slurred your words.
For the
Did
rest
his
of you,
eyes change at all?
no, not at all. For the rest of you, it's been 5 seconds. For B2, you were there for at least 2 or 3 minutes.
I think I grabbed Xander like frantically. Where are we? There was everyone. Where was everyone? Where were we
safe,
following?
we're safe.
Blackstar steps up and interposes himself between Xander and B2. Like, forces them apart. Best he can.
I think with that, B2 kind of realizes and kind of lets go, and I was at a battlefield. I was breathing.
Page in Xander's notebook.
Breathing?
Yes. I could feel the warmth of my breath. The cold feeling of the rain. I
Oh my
was
God. Blackstar,
alive.
Blackstar. He has visions like me, but they're not visions of the future or like the what could be. It's like his memory, maybe. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I mean, you call them visions, but I wouldn't call them visions. I'd just call them memories.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, how long were you there?
It felt like I was there forever. Like it like I was meant to be there.
Like,
I mean-
forever, like you were there for years, and we stood here for about 5 seconds, or like forever, like it just felt right.
It felt right.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here. That's all.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to scare you, Xander.
I mean, it's okay. I've come out of some visions and puked, been moody.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I've had some are way worse than others, but you know, for the most part, those are the 2 most consistent ones.
Yeah, like your mood after your visions reminds me of this band in Talnoro called My Chemical Romance. Just very emo, honestly.
I think I've heard one of their tracks.
Yeah, they're really popular.
I wish to give them a listen sometime.
I'll play you a tune sometime.
What is Garen doing during all this?
Staring at Rezzyr.
I was glaring at Rezzyr the whole time,
Yeah.
kind of keeping an eye on him in general.
It kind of feels like this group kind of feels like Survivor, where it's like there's a couple people who are with Xander and like are glaring at the other team, and it's like Blackstar and Rezzyr on the other team.
I like to think Blackstar's more neutral, but
Yeah, but
He plays to win.
neutrality isn't taking a side.
that's true.
Excuse me.
We should go back to camp. I think we've been out here long enough, honestly.
Yeah. I mean that sounds like a fine idea. It seems like we have more than enough to talk about between this portal phenomenon and a new accessed memory.
And the metal guy almost murdering you.
It wasn't murder.
I saw him draw his blade.
You know what? Because I want this to be funny, insight check.
And you guys are
just
actually
saying no.
walking
Oh, he
back
beats
to
me
camp.
anyway. He beats me anyway. It doesn't matter.
Naturally.
I literally cannot. He can't get less than a 12. You drew your blade?
B2 is, I think, shocked.
I wink
And
at B2.
I don't think he's been taught what winking means.
He has not.
He
I
doesn't know what
he
that
doesn't.
means at all.
So I think as they start to like walk back, like B2 kind of like walks slower and doesn't take count of his weapons and just kind of quietly sulks off by himself.
Blackstar slows Xander and walks next to B2. B2, stop. I was joking. You didn't draw your blade. Stop. Did you see the thing I did with my eye?
Yes.
That means I'm joking. Just you were fine. You were concerned and panicked a little bit. You didn't touch your blades, all right? I don't want you to feel bad about it. I don't want to play a trick that makes you feel bad.
Can I trust you with something?
Most of the time, no, but sometimes yes.
I'll pull not unsheath it, but just pull it from the side. Whenever I wield this is when those moments happen where I don't understand.
Oh, sweet. Oh, sweet. What jeebles.
But I am more effective with this. So, will you help me decide when it is a good time to use this?
Oh,
And he's asking, to be fair, he's asking Blackstar and Xander. Like, he's talking to both of you. If
I look at Xander. I'd be like, that's all you, hotcakes.
Hotcakes.
Isn't that backwards? Shouldn't Blackstar be hotcakes?
This Xander Blackstar sexual tension I'm feeling right now is incredible.
Put my hand on your back and squeeze
Yeah.
just.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
But puts his hand on the small of my back. He's like, hotcakes.
No, you hotcakes.
I mean, that feels like a big responsibility, but I guess I could. I mean, you have other things, right? That, like, you're still effective, just maybe not as effective.
You didn't see him with the big glaive in the battle.
Right. But I want to make sure that this is because you are trying to stay you.
Yes. But for some reason, I know I cannot part with this sword.
Right. And so you see, when you first explained it, I was kind of under the impression that when you said everybody around you had perished, it was more of like a enemies kind of thing. But is it is it the kind of sword that doesn't necessarily discriminate between the two?
This is my first time officially traveling with people. I have traveled with the Chainless by accident.
Lord.
But it is not cursed. It just changes who I am.
Let's get back to camp. I just wanted you to know that I was teasing.
I just
But
about to
let's
say,
go
you walk into camp as you're finishing the end of this this part of the conversation. Didn't want to leave the other two guys out of this for too much longer.
Yeah.
I gotta puke.
Okay. You got to puke or
He, I think,
I heard
the worst
Yeah,
of the
it's just-
two.
Yeah.
couldn't stomach what just went down. He's got to
Yeah.
go.
I forgot to turn the rain and the thunder sounds on, and I'm very disappointed.
Oh, it hasn't been raining
'Cause
this whole
I was very happy. No, during the come on, during the
Presume.
vision
Oh, yes,
thing
yes,
that he
yes.
had.
Monica.
I feel like I
I
feel
like the
that,
music though.
That narration went very well and would have been accompanied very well by rain and thunder. So,
I was locked in. I was like, I can't take notes. And I was locked in. That was great.
oh, thanks. Yeah. Well, you're the inspiration. You're my inspiration.
You're my
Also a good song.
Uh-huh. Yeah, this whole time that they're gone, or probably not the whole time, at some point, Garen is just staring at Rezzyr, and maybe, I don't know, 2 minutes into like that entire 2 minute time of staring, he finally gets up and like walks toward him, but extremely aggressive, and goes up to him.
Sexual tension.
Tell me everything you can about magic.
Right.
I thought I knew everything.
To be honest with you, there ain't a whole lot that I know. I ain't like Xander, where I learn the magic and know things from books and whatnot. I just kind of have these abilities and can know what I can do because I'm told I can. And then I can just kind of do them. So unfortunately, I don't got a lot to share.
Your magic looked very, very unnatural. It's very different than any kind of magic. Well, the only kind of magic I've really seen in abundance.
Yeah, like I said, it's not quite from me that I'm doing the magic. It's from someone else that I've been given these abilities. So I'm kind of using their power, but kind of mine. But it's a weird situation, and I don't know really how to describe it any other way than I just can kind of do these things because I can, and then I pay for other ways.
Like what you did before.
Yeah, among other things. So yeah, that.
Are you gonna? Do you need to keep doing that in order to do what you do?
Not quite, but it's part of the deal I have going.
See, can you affect the earth in any way? Move trees, make rocks
Earth.
move.
Nah, don't. Other than just like digging it up myself, I don't really have nothing quite like that.
Okay.
Most of the things I can do are a little less permanent and kind of happen and then dissipate or go away or whatever it is.
Yeah, you all are very, very different from what I imagine magic to be, or at least what I've been shown magic to be. It's
Yeah, it's at least Blackstar and myself are an odd bit. I think the two boys, Lou here and his brother, they're a bit more traditional in the kind of magic they do. With what people can scrounge together from what books they find and whatnot.
Is this? You're saying that this power isn't your own. Are you okay with that?
Yeah. Gotta use what I gotta use.
And is there a line you won't cross?
Maybe.
That's reassuring. Well, you fight well, so I'm not mad.
Do my best to keep alive. Despite what everybody jokes about, I am alive, so I like to keep it that way.
Ish.
Mostly alive.
All right.
Say the group comes back at this point.
Yeah. I'm hungry. I want to go find something to eat. Or do we have food?
Louise
Blue
has
good
berries.
Yeah.
No.
Oh well, I
I
mean,
need meat.
normally normally we take a chunk out of Louise's wild shape form because he can turn into animals, and then we eat that, and then he turns back into Louise, and everything's fine.
Oh man,
Harrowing.
Louise would have been cool to RP with. Once you said that.
Mhm. Or he takes advantage of the woodland creatures offering themselves up as a sacrifice for
Oh my
dinner.
god, dude.
We tricked them.
That was a wild one.
That dude.
That
Just
happened.
thinking about that sounds harrowing. Like transforming into a cow, and then getting like you're like
Butchered.
getting
Yeah.
butchered, and then you just turn back into a human. You're like, all right, guys.
Bon appetit. Bon
Yeah.
apple teeth.
Bone apple tea.
That sounds harrowing.
Bone apple
Oh my
tea.
goodness.
Bon apple
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I go to the bathroom.
Oh, we're just taking turns. I'll go
This is what
after
happens when you drink.
What did you guys find?
As Xander leaves.
Oh yeah,
We
right.
didn't
He's
find-
the one that would probably have so much information.
We didn't find anything to eat, so you'll have to look yourself. Honestly, I wanted to eat the cat, but it's gone now, so I guess we're not going to do that.
Mm.
If you're talking about like portals and stuff,
Yeah, whatever
Okay.
you were planning on looking for.
I personally was the only one who really saw anything, so I am the eyewitness testimony. If you need any information, I have all of it. I saw into the future, the past, the present, and all things everywhere at once, and so I'm a bit omniscient at this point.
Are you
That's
lying?
true.
Probably.
Make an insight check if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Unless you're just straight up asking him. I mean,
I was asking, but it'd be fun to see if I could actually beat it, which I know I won't.
Good luck. That was a good roll.
No.
wow.
I was
Alright.
100% lying. Don't worry about it. You'll get used to it eventually. You'll believe about a quarter of the things I say internally.
So did you saw something or no?
I mean, yes. So we went out, and there was some interesting things. B2, I'm sure, will fill us all in, right? B2, you're gonna share.
Yes.
As far as the portals, though, it was strange. There were kind of shimmers in the air. Xander took some notes, but essentially, looking through the portal was like looking with your eyes, but there were like differences. So at least the one I saw was in front of like a rocky outcropping. In the portal was a waterfall and water, and when the portal vanished, there was no waterfall. It looked like a place where a stream should have been or could have been, but there was nothing instead. It was almost the same terrain though, but just less alive, if that makes sense.
No, it doesn't. Not to me, at least.
Okay, that's
But it
fair.
sounds
And then
interesting.
B2 tried to kill both of us, and I wink again at B2.
And
What?
I think B2 gets it now, but he's still kind of just like he doesn't show emotion, but you can clearly tell he's in pain with that joke. Just like, yes, wink.
'Cause he,
Yeah, he can't wink. So
he verbally says wink.
wink.
B2, we're gonna work on this. No, he didn't actually try to kill us, but B2, you have to laugh at yourself in order to move past things. All right.
How does one laugh? Do you need a mirror to laugh at oneself?
No. You just laugh out loud and think of laughing at yourself. Oh, I guess a mirror would help.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mirrors?
Well.
Why don't you just do the thing you do to all of us all the time?
Oh yeah. Okay. And I turn into B2.
Yeah, B2. Ha ha. Ha ha.
Very
Was that
good. Wink.
That's off-putting.
But I imagine.
I like to imagine Black Star actually wigged.
Yes,
That
that's
actually-
exactly what I was thinking. It's metal, but it moves.
B2.
Oh.
Cracking.
No.
Yes. If I wish not to hide what I've learned, but I had a memory, or as Xander refers, a vision.
Gather round, children. Let him tell the story.
I was on a battlefield, and there were bodies, and I had skin, and I was breathing. I was alive.
Blackstar casts minor illusion, and it's a bunch of stick figures like this thing he's describing.
I just picture Blackstar as like C-3PO telling the story to the Ewoks, just really adding to the atmosphere. And I saw someone with a banner, and then there was a bright light. We were destroying another army. And it is also important that you know that there are moments where I lose consciousness, and it's almost as if a different programming takes over.
Mm-hmm. A dangerous
All
one.
right.
I don't know. I only know the result. I don't know how it acts.
Hmm.
If I am a threat, I will leave.
I mean, you ain't proved yourself nothing but a help so far. So
Mm.
I
Yeah,
ain't worried about that.
And if you're a threat, I'll make sure that you're neutralized.
Okay, well, I mean that's you've escalated it at this point, but yeah, okay.
I think
I
for a
mean,
brief,
I didn't mean like I destroy him. Just make sure he can't actually do anything to harm us.
Right, but your delivery is like terrible.
All right. Well, I'm just, yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
I think B2 it would be like, I'm glad I can have faith that you would succeed.
Well,
However, I don't know what that other side is and what challenge that might provide.
All right. Well, let's hope we don't have to find out. You
I will-
you ever attack like friends or your companions when that happens? You come back and they're gone or something.
The only companions I have ever attacked were the Chainless when they lied to me.
Oh no.
Fair.
And that is when I met Garen.
yeah, I was gonna ask.
Right.
In that fight, you didn't take out that weapon in that fight?
No,
Okay, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I guess, and then I also, what triggers it is whenever I wield the sword.
Oh, okay. So you got some control over it.
Yes.
All right. I mean, ain't no reason you're gonna attack us. We're on your side, so sounds like all things are squared away, good to go. Got some kind of attack ability mode, something when you need, and shouldn't be towards us. I didn't see nothing wrong with this. Look, honestly, not knowing what you are, you could tell us any gosh darn thing, and I'm sure we'd believe it and be like, well, that's just how it is, so it is what it is.
Yes, but Xander seems to know more about this Fae.
Oh, yeah, he's got a lot of book knowledge and has read lots of things from his fancy home library in the city he grew up in, has lots of books and whatnot, so he's got a lot of knowledge that's been kept, because with all the calamities, that's kind of the main way knowledge and things are transferred from generation to generations through them books. So he's got a lot of knowledge that a lot of people don't.
Yeah, he's very smart, but I have also read a lot of books, and I'm also a very useful font of knowledge if you ever need it.
I think all of you have way more knowledge than I do in many different elements.
Yeah, Rezzyr knows a lot of weird things that like he probably shouldn't know, but he does, and it's sometimes unsettling.
Yeah.
I wish to gain more knowledge. So I think journeying with you is the best for me.
Yeah.
And you get that pop up like you do in JRPGs. B2 has officially joined the party.
Yeah.
I'm no longer that side character that you're hoping to
Yeah.
use. Like you can actually use me in battles now.
That's funny. You got to see him in action, where he was
Yeah.
absolutely laying waste to those bandits.
Yeah.
You're like, man, I want that
In the
party already.
JRPGs, anytime they
not even
actually
half
join
as
the
strong.
party, though, they like drop like 18 levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm playing Tales, and so that happened recently. So.
You're like watching him in battle, and you're like, is that a playable character?
Yeah.
The pain. But I appreciate you all, and I will do my best to help you accomplish your missions while I learn more about myself and this world.
Sounds like that's pretty par for the course for the group.
Yeah.
You'll fit right in. Everybody's got their own thing, but we're all kind of doing it together.
Yeah, there's so much harmony in our group, honestly.
Well,
B2 looks between Rezzyr and Xander. Yes. Wink.
No. You're good at that now.
He's getting it.
Yeah, and I think B2 will just kind of not separate himself, but kind of just put him outside just to sit and kind of reflect. Just kind of watch the party.
The cat mentioned that there was like water nearby, or like a river nearby, or that was in his world that there's water. Oh, Jesus.
Well, he said he was heading towards water, and then Blackstar said, I know where water is close by, and then the cat just headed off on its way.
Yeah, I want it to get fish. All right, well,
It's
I'm
a
just going
swamp.
to, I'm just going to be very grumpy because I'm just eating berries.
It's not to say that there isn't snakes and other things here. You could grab some frog legs if you start a fire, maybe. Maybe Blackstar or Xander can help you with roasting it.
I know of a frog.
Oh, the frog.
Oh,
yeah.
it's still there.
The frog is following us.
It's
still?
it's there. It's at the edge of the
man.
clearing. It's just sitting there. Just its tongue comes out, sticks onto its eye, and slowly comes back down into its mouth.
Yeah.
Frog, run.
No, I mean we've fed it. I'm not gonna be that guy.
I am going to go put my daughter to bed, so we're gonna take our break there.
Yeah.
But you guys are settling in to take a long rest here shortly, but I believe there was more conversation that you were intending on having before actually doing that. The sun does go down. It is getting to a point where it's starting to get dark outside. But there are a lot of dragonflies that are out and about that were not there previously, at least before these portals started opening up.
Dragonflies or fireflies?
Fireflies, sorry.
Okay.
Yep.
Details
Good
matter,
clarification.
man.
Absolutely.
or are they teeny tiny little dragons that also glow?
Guess you'd have to get closer to inspect.
A new boss.
A new boss. Yep. You're just inundated.
Really
They all
tiny.
come
fairy
together to
dragons.
form one big fey dragon.
Ooh, that's
Sick.
pretty cool.
Like
Giving me
a
ideas.
flock of
Mm.
what's that? But like, I mean, there's a fish that that also flocks, but I'm thinking of a Pokemon, Wakamishu, I think it's called.
Flocks. I
Yeah.
don't think fish flock, but
They do. No, they do. Sardines
Schools.
in particular. Yeah, they're schools, but they do flock.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that's fair.
Yeah. There's
As
a
it
bunch of
gets-
them.
as it gets dark out,
I'd
go ahead.
give him a bit of time, but I'd go over to B2. Like, give him some time to do his sit and reflect thing. And then eventually, as people start shifting and settling in, and the watches are decided. I'd go over. You want to talk? You have something to say or ask?
Yes, I
Is there
know
something
that.
you want to do now, or
No, I think it would be good to clear clear the air.
right?
You seem right now that the party, or more importantly, Xander, seems to be upset with you.
Yep.
Has this happened before?
Uh, not really. Everything up till now up till then has been in line with what we'd been doing. So I ain't done nothing yet to bother him such.
How long have you traveled as a group?
Oh, let's see. It's about a week or so there, week or so there. It's been about 2 months ish.
Mm.
Not the longest, but these days, who knows how long stuff lasts.
That is fair. So, it's fair to say you are still fresh in your relationship, your friendship with the group.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's the case. We been through a lot, so like we know each other pretty well, and we spend a lot of time together these days. So we're getting to know each other. But yeah, it's still relatively new, in all things considered.
Why? I do not understand why you did what you did.
Well, I've got the friend, my patron that gives me my powers and abilities, and I mean, straight up of it is he told me I needed to do so, so I did.
So you give your free will for power?
To a degree, yeah. It's we made a deal. He gives me abilities that I need to both survive and accomplish my goals, and I'm doing things that ultimately work towards his goals. And I do what he says now and again when he needs me to do something. Yeah. So I guess you could look at it that way, but it's also for me, it's a means to an end. Things line up with what I want to do and what he needs to do or wants to do, whatever it is for him. So I follow along. Yeah.
Have you ever not done what he's requested?
We've butted heads, and over the past few years, I got a little lackadaisical, a little bit lazy with some of the things I've been doing. Haven't been putting forth as much focus into achieving bigger goals, but not quite said no, because typically he doesn't ask too much, and what he does ask ain't something I'm too against these days.
What if he does ask too much? What if he asks for you to kill one of us? To kill Xander? To kill Blackstar?
Well, I'd have a lot of thinking to do. Um, to be honest with you, I've got one goal that I'm working towards, and as long as things don't go against that goal, I'm willing to do quite a bit. As far as offing one of y'all, it's most likely not going to come to that because all y'all are, if nothing else, useful to him and helping me achieve his goals. But who knows? Should things turn sour, might be a fallout. But I mean, any groups like that, hear tale of bandit groups tearing themselves apart because they're fighting over treasure or whatnot, or other things. Groups fall apart, people part ways, and less than ideal circumstances. But as far as him just outright telling me to take one of y'all out, I don't see that happening. If he did, I might try and find another way out. That's always an option. Try and figure something else out. But I'm if what I don't know how linguistically deep you go, but if you're trying to figure out where my allegiances lie, it's both. But for now, this group is the group I'm traveling with and working with, and we got similar goals, and I don't see no reason why that would change.
Very well. The world is a harsh place, from what I've learned.
That it is.
And I think it is easier if you can trust the people behind you, or to the side of you, or in front of you. And I just wish I don't doubt you. I don't doubt that you're a good person. I think you've done some bad things, but for some reason I don't dismiss you as just as a bad person. But I have to make sure the people here are safe.
Yeah, no, that ain't gonna be an issue.
Then I'll have faith. And I'll trust you. Just like if I become a problem, I'll trust you there as well.
Yeah. That sounds good.
And I think B2, he's never done it before, but he's gonna stick out his hand and grab your hand and just... I have seen people do this when they come to an agreement.
Yeah, just not so extreme. A little less up and down. Little less up and down. It's more like this.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, you catch on pretty quick. It's about what
Thank you.
May look like.
Thank you for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, things being what they are in the group, I think I owe it to everybody to make sure I let discussion happen when it needs to happen. At least for a while.
You are wise.
I don't know about that, but I'll take it.
And I think B2 kind of just sits back down and goes back into his reflective state, or just kind of his sentry mode. He doesn't actually have to rest.
Neither do I.
He goes into sentry mode.
Very similar things when we rest.
Mm-hmm.
I just make sure I'm not facing you at the opposite side of the camp, so it's not an awkward 4 hours as we just sit there staring at each other. Be over here instead.
It's like when you say bye to somebody, but you walk in the same direction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Garen, Xander, are you doing any deep dive of conversations about anything?
All right, is Shay muted?
I'm muted. I am muted. Yeah, I think Garen right now is just trying to keep his composure because he's very hungry and he wants meat, not berries.
I mean, technically,
he
the berries and their description, it says that they're very filling. So it's like having a full meal.
One berry makes you
just
full for the day.
Right.
having one or just having
Just
like
one.
a amount?
Just one.
What?
Yeah, it's like elvish bread.
They're magic.
Interesting.
They are magic.
Oh.
So it's not the same fullness you'd get from actually eating a full meal, but it's not like your stomach's growling or anything. Mm-hmm.
Nourished and full.
Oh yeah. I did wanted to after my conversation with Rezzyr, you mentioning that he has a Xander has a better understanding of magic, I'll go to him and kind of lead off with the same question. Uh, I I tried this
Tell me what
with
you know of
Xander
magic.
with Xander with Rezzyr, uh, but he kind of told me that you have a better understanding of all the stuff you guys were doing magic. Uh, I want to know more about it. I want to understand how it's done, why it's how do you how you're able to do it. Uh, no, the only uh person I know who's done magic around me other than you guys had she just mentioned that she feels a connection with her environment around her and is able to essentially command it to do what she wants.
Uh-huh. um, yeah.
But
Okay.
you did something with fire. This there was like a black, disgusting uh cloud in the battle. I don't remember what uh Blackstar did, but I know. Oh yeah, he also did fire. That was just more fire. You
Um, yeah. Loaded question. Um, where to start? I mean, it sounds like your friend was some kind of druidic type. Um, they typically have connections with nature, which gives them a connection towards like natural magics. Um, I'm part of a group that does not necessarily have any inherent magical leaning. Um, there's a lot of schools of magic. I kind of dabble in each one. I don't really specialize in anything. Um, but I learn magic via runes that are imbued with magic so I can read it, I understand it, and then I can put it into practice. Um, the dead one over there has his magic, I guess, granted to him by something else. Um, and then there's magic users where it comes naturally, magic users that get it from, higher beings, which it sounds like I know that, and, like getting your abilities from another thing are kind of like one and the same, but they're different in their, uh, I guess, in their nature is the best way I could put it. Um, I mean, that's a general rundown. What do you want to know?
uh can you can anyone do magic?
Well, I mean, yeah, yeah. Um, I mean, again, I'm part of a group. I'm as a wizard, as people tend to call people who don't have any natural inclination of magic. Um, we just learn magic through books and runes. Um, I don't have any. Well, I do, but the rest of my family doesn't necessarily have any natural inclination to magic, but they all still know their bits and pieces. But anybody can learn it. It just depends on your studies, your background, and admittedly how dedicated you are to the craft. I mean, it's taken me, 19 years of my life, and I'm still not where I need to be. And that's a long time.
Hmm. Uh, yeah. you know how I'm able to essentially make my skin turn
Yeah, which is
into.
super cool. I meant to talk about it afterwards, but then we kind of got caught up in all of the looting and everything like that, and I just completely forgot. But yeah, that is incredible. How do you
Yeah, I
do
don't
that?
know how I do that. Oh yeah, that just answered your question. I don't get it. I so and then I'll take off the gauntlet and show my the front of my hand, and there's like I haven't designed the actual look of this, but it's like a circle and then one line that goes up and then another line that goes around it and down. Uh and it pulses uh
It's
very
like
faintly.
it's like a like runic
Um
or like is it like veins?
no, it's definitely runic that
Okay.
not veins.
Okay.
Ever since I got this, that tends to happen when I'm in combat.
It just
Uh,
happens?
yeah. Um, I I didn't question it. When it happened, it made sense to me that like uh, I thought it was something that was like my destiny to be an earth elemental, be something made of stone. So it to me it made sense. But the more I traveled, the more questions I had, and I uh, I get the sneaking suspicion that there's more to this that I should be more concerned about. My friend was one of those people to make me think that I should be concerned, but I kind of dismissed her at the time. Um, but yeah, I don't know if this is something like what the dead one has, where there's someone giving me this power, or there's something that's not. I know it's definitely something that's not mine, so it's not us.
It's not meant for you?
I don't. I wasn't. I wasn't born with this. I have this. Uh, there was a day that um, the first time I actually bumped into any chainless, uh, and that day I was initially trying to escort them through because it's a really dangerous place where I live, and one thing led to another. Them surrounding me or attempting to take me. Uh, I fought them off, but at some point, I was hit with something, and I woke up with this on my hand. Uh, then in the very next combat, I was capable of hardening my skin, so to speak. I just didn't question it. I thought it all aligned perfectly with what I thought I was meant for. But now, especially after being captured by the chainless, I need to know why this happened. Especially since it happened in a fight with the chainless. I
Right.
don't know if you can.
Looking at his hand, Tim. Um, it's runic, and I know primordial. Is there any? Is there like? It doesn't even necessarily need to be a whole word or anything like that. But do I recognize the writing? Could I like try and decipher what it is?
Yeah. Go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Sure. I want to check really quick. That's right. Okay. I just wanted to check what the Wanderer's book did for me. But I already. Oh wow.
Oh wow, jeez.
Boy. We love that right there.
Dude, 31. Shitty.
Um, Yeah, I wasn't expecting to get pulled into this conversation.
Sorry, Tim.
Requesting an explanation of some things. So it itself does not have a word or words associated with it, but it does carry a connotation of because you rolled a natural 20 on this. It carries a connotation of being accepted into a brotherhood of sorts. You've seen iconography like this in relation to, oh gosh, now I have to go pull that up. Hold on. You know, it would be great if I had all of my notes in like one easy to navigate document and not 40 million documents.
Oh, that'd be great.
That's the sign of a great DM
Yeah.
who's super unorganized, right, Chris?
Yep. Hides in 6 documents for my campaign.
Come on.
I'm holding, man. I'm not going anywhere.
While he's looking it up, I just want to say, man, everyone has such cool characters. I'm so invested in everyone's character.
just wait until we fast forward like a year from now, and you know everybody's.
We'll be at the
characters,
Sea
but
Hag.
still.
We'll have made it by then.
That's amazing. So, interestingly enough, the symbol that Garen presents has a connotation of being associated with 2 deities, which is a little off-putting because he's obviously hasn't mentioned that at all. Maybe he has something he's hiding, but something clicks in your mind that you researched previously that lends towards Halduar as well as Mathis, which is the deities that represent nature, tranquility, and peace, and then also order, justice, and loyalty. But it isn't that it's like he's been branded and is now destined to serve these deities. And it seems through your conversation, he doesn't even know that that's what this connotation means. But there's something that ties him to the earth. And that is what you're able to gather from that. And is perhaps giving him power beyond what he knows. And that's all. I'm just going to leave it right there.
So you said this showed up before or after the chainless fight?
At the very end of it, actually. I woke up and they were gone. And I got hit by something. I'm not too sure what I got hit by. I could only imagine at this point that it was magic. And I woke up with this on me. I don't know why.
What kind of culture did you grow up in that this like made sense to you?
Well, I was born and raised in Hyalus, and that entire area is protected by earth elementals, and I've always well, for the most part, when I was capable, helped defend when I could, helping them keep forces at bay, monsters, bandits, raiders, the like. Um, but that entire before that moment with the chainless, there was no brand. There was no my skin getting hard as stone. Uh, I was just fighting with them and helping them defend. And then once this happened, um, it's funny. It's almost as if uh, after getting this that I was actually helping them. Before then, it felt more like they were doing their thing and I was doing my thing. And then after getting this, it was more of a teamwork
Felt
to some degree.
more in tune.
Yeah. So I thought it just made sense that it was part of my. It was something that needed to happen to me for the like I was rewarded. I don't know. I don't really get it, but
I mean, I read a lot, and I've not heard of a case like yours necessarily, but I am slightly familiar with this runic pattern. It has something to do with the deities. I'm sure you are familiar. What, Tim?
It was Halduar and Otun, but I
Yeah.
just wanted to throw in one last.
You said Mathis.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
I did say Mathis. You're right. One last small detail. The way that the rune is designed seems like it's waiting to be activated, or it's waiting to activate something else.
Okay. Seems like whatever is on your hand is tied to Halduar, who I'm sure you're familiar with.
am I familiar with him or them?
Yeah, you would have certainly heard it mentioned at some point. Yep.
Gotcha.
And Mathis, the deity of order, loyalty. Maybe it's some kind of order of earth elemental kin where you've proven your worth and you're now part of some kind of elite brotherhood. But it looks like it is waiting for something. Like it activates in a fight or flight circumstance, but maybe if you were to use it against, I don't know, a magically locked door or something, the right door or the right chest, I don't know, but it looks like it might be able to unlock something. Maybe it's the key to something, but that's what I can gather. Those are my assumptions, and I mean, it's all just theoretical. I don't have any evidence or fact to base it on outside of, a couple of books that I've skimmed over, the past handful of years.
Well, considering that these are the only answers I've actually gotten from the other two people didn't give me anything, but you're the only person that's given me an actual answer as opposed to just be careful. I don't know what that is. Get away from me. So I'm not. I think that you did great, and I feel at least one step closer to understanding why I have this, and I feel a little bit of pride knowing that I was kind of right. If it is, actually
Maybe,
connected to the elementals.
maybe, but also, don't just shrug off what other people may have said. You know, be careful is a fair thing to say because I wasn't born with this either. And I'll point to the golden eye. And not all gifts are just that. Sometimes they come with their own burden, whether it's a burden of responsibility, a burden of high expectation, and you have to be prepared to carry that burden along with your pride.
Wise. I'm more
Get
than
on my
prepared.
ears.
That eye of yours, that was that was something you were also given later in life, or
Yeah. Yeah.
did it hurt?
No.
Well, thank you. I'm feeling better and better about partying with you guys. My last group was not nearly as capable.
Well, I try to be capable, but also, you know, a friend. I don't want to just be one or the other, because one of them is just a burden, but the other one won't help when the time comes. So there's a line that I try to tread.
And you can call me your friend. So you have no doubts. At least on my part, I can't speak for everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, then I look over at Rezzyr. I know he's got my back. He's just pissed me off.
Yeah, I spoke to him earlier. He seems... I mean, I'm still kind of wary of if we're put in a specific circumstance, what he'll do. But for the most part, he's leaning more into team trial and error, as Blackstar said. Is that what you call you guys? You call yourselves?
That's new. That's new, but I like it. I'm not gonna lie. It feels like everything we do is trial and error. Before we picked you guys up, oof, man, that was a trial and an error. That was bad.
Many errors.
Who said that? No.
I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry.
We've been through quite a few tribulations to get here. A lot of different trials, some successes, more failures, or more experiments that you bail on halfway through. And I guess that's still part of the trial and error process, because if something isn't working, then you restart and you try something new. And so...
You lost me.
Well... We'll get there. We'll get there.
I think, as I understand it, I'm more than prepared to face many trials and errors with all of you guys, and I'll just look at all the party members. I don't know what they're all doing. Some might be sleeping, except for two people. And I smile. I don't even know if I've smiled before this moment. Actually, I probably have though. But I smile and I say I'm hopeful that we'll be able to accomplish what we set out to do. And I hope I hope we're able to take down the chainless and stop them from everything that they've been doing. I wish I knew sooner. But yeah, that's the thing about living in a desert. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, and you're here now. And that's the only thing that you can look forward to, because unfortunately, as far as I'm aware, you can't really change the past. But the future, malleable. Future is, there's a lot of possibility.
All right. I think I'm going to get some shut-eye. Thanks again.
I was tempted to ask Xander for a deception check just now.
Do you want me to?
I don't know. I don't know that Zarin.
I mean,
wow.
I don't think
Garen.
Zarin.
I don't think Garen would have any reason to disbelieve me.
No.
I barely understand magic. I'm not gonna even question time and the manipulation of it. We're just like, yep, yeah, that makes sense. But yeah. Now I'll walk away. I'm gonna ask Luis for another berry and then go to sleep.
As he walks away, I try to think about the last time I truly smiled.
When does Xander think that was? Dreek?
Probably Dreek, yeah. He's been excited since then, but he hasn't really, smiled over anything,
Realistically, that was only 2 weeks ago.
It's still a long time.
It's still a long time to not
really,
smile.
Give an honest smile, I think a declaration of excitement is different from, an honest, good time kind of smile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, from what happened on the boat on the way to Sayor, and then everything that's happened since with Tormund and literally everything else, there's not a whole lot to smile about, let's be honest.
Yeah. I would like to go over to B2. Hey, B2, I mean, you're awake, but are you awake?
Yes. What is the matter, Xander?
I have a quick question. This is gonna sound weird, okay? So, would you happen to have spare parts of you?
Would I, Tim?
I don't see why you would.
Yeah, that's fair. No, I do not. I don't know what is parts. I just know everything is connected, and
Right.
is there a reason you want my parts?
Yeah. You see, I knew it would sound weird. Honestly, it sounds better saying it to someone like you, other than a real person, not a real person, a fully organic person, because asking them for parts is like asking for organs, and that's much more frowned upon because that's a thing. But people like you aren't necessarily common here, and I'm trying to understand if you're more organic or if you're if more magic, or if you're more mechanical. And I have this box of tools, and I put my tinkerer's tools down. But here's the thing. I'm not very good at them yet. However, if I do get good, there could be a day where maybe you and I sit down and try and maybe figure things out. Maybe there's, maybe you took a bump and something got dislodged, or I don't know. But basically, I was just asking because I could practice first, and then afterwards we could try it. But I don't want to go in completely unexperienced, because that's like asking to put you into kill me mode. You know what I mean?
Yes, you wish to study and understand. You are a researcher. You are like the monks from Redwall.
I mean, I've never met them before, but they do have a large assortment of books. Are they... I thought they were more keepers rather than researchers.
Perhaps. I tried to visit, but I was not welcome. I just know that there is knowledge. And maybe you are not a monk, but you seek knowledge.
At all times.
So, you are, besides Garen, you are the first person I've trusted in this party. So therefore, I think if any parts are discovered, you can have them. But I wish to know as well.
I wouldn't hide anything from you. I mean, I'm doing it for me selfishly because I have a desire to know, but like it's also for you. I want you to get the answers that you deserve. I mean, you seem like a great guy, and I really like you, and I think that you deserve to know the truth about yourself, and whether or not it's as harrowingly welcome as you made it sound earlier.
Yes. If nothing comes to be, if no parts are found, I think it is worth the risk that we start small. Perhaps you take a look into my hand, something small, my finger, whatever it may be. I wish to know more.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I'll make sure as we're going through cities and places now, I'll kind of keep an eye out for any like funky funky items that we might be able to take and deduce that maybe it's supposed to be part of you, and then we can go from there. And then if we're at a point where we're however long down the line and we're really just running out of options, then we'll start small and we'll just work our way up. But in the meantime, if I find even anything like a clock or anything, clock. I have a clock. I can start. Okay, yeah, I can start. I can start small, and then we'll get there. We'll get there.
The good thing about being a machine is I have time. Perhaps more time than you.
Perhaps. Time is a funny thing.
Yes. Then again, it seems that I was born just a couple weeks ago, but also a long time ago. Time is confusing. But can you also answer one question for me? What is the Fae?
So it's a shortened term for a separate plane of existence known as the Feywild. It's supposed to be this luscious landscape with a complex royalty system, but I mean, up until now, I guess we haven't. As like a civilization, a society, have not had any reported sightings of planar gates in, decades, maybe 100 years. It's hard to say, but you know, it's been a long time. So, if it's true that there are others like you in the Feywild in a different plane of existence, then what that means is, if I can offer a theory,
By all means.
the first planar gate we saw open, as in myself, Rezzyr, my brother, and a couple other people who don't travel with us anymore. The first planar gate we saw was, I'd say, 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Yes? No? Tim? Sound about right?
Rezzyr had said it's been like 2 months since you guys have been traveling.
So probably
So
a month and a half then.
probably about a month and a half ago.
Month and a half? Okay.
Yeah.
So about a month and a half ago, we saw a gate open towards not the Feywild. It was a separate plane. I'm assuming. I mean, every book that you read about the Feywild is that it's this luscious green landscape, and that was certainly not that. But say theoretically that was the first sighting of a planar gate opening in however long. We can give it a rough estimation of about a half month each, so maybe 2 months ago you were spit out by a gate to here. If there are others like you in the Feywild, it's possible that you made your way through a gate. Maybe there was some interdimensional travel gobbledygook that happened and your memory got all messed up, and now you're here.
That is a good theory. That is better than anything I have come up with.
I mean, there's nothing to back it up off of outside of, us personally seeing the rifts open and possibly 6-month-old speaking tabby cat telling us that there are other people like you in the Feywild. Otherwise there's nothing else to go off of. But that's just what I've come towards in the past 2 hours since we saw the cat. So that's just a guess, but it could be anything. It's possible that the Feywild, since the material plane was closed off from every other plane, that there have been different methods of planar travel from there. Maybe the Feywild is entering a different plane, and there's, war, or maybe you're from a different plane, and there's just now interdimensional travel between them because they're all buddy, and you just happen to work in the Feywild, but you commute back home. I don't know. It's just there's a lot of different ways that it could go because it's about a world that we haven't seen in a very long time.
Well, it sounds like we have the possibility of a fun discovery ahead of us.
That is indeed what it sounds like, and that's why I have to write everything down. because I don't think anybody would believe me if I didn't.
I see. I think it's a good idea. And if you ever can't find a surface to write on, you can put paper on my hand and write. It is sturdy.
If I ever need a surface that's not my lap, I'll take you up on your offer.
Thank you, Xander. And once again, I am sorry I scared you.
It's okay. You're not the scariest thing I have seen, and it's not going to be the first time that I'll be put in a position like that. It's not going to be the last time. So.
Yes, but I wish that next time I will be standing with you in that situation and not against you.
Next time, I won't get so up in your face.
Thank you. And I like this
Jay-
as like B2's thing.
Jay can't even do it. Like, it's just so weird. Nice. That's great.
I think it's a great thing for B2.
Everybody in Trial and Arrow is going to just start doing this now. This is going to be the group thing. Have to work up a symbol that
Yeah.
shows this. Cody, take
Trial
this
and
down.
arrow, assemble!
And then I'll go towards my bedroll, take a seat, and I'm just gonna sit for maybe 10 minutes later after sitting telepathically. So you want to talk or to Rezzyr? And I'm sitting across from you, like, I'm not looking at you. I'm just, you want to talk, or?
I think that's up to you.
I think what you did was dumb.
Yeah, probably. But I had to do it.
Is there ever, and I say ever as in within a relatively near future, is there ever going to be a time where you'll actually explain those decisions to us? Or is that going to be a kind of, you have to wait and see kind of moment?
Here, let me start with this. I do apologize for not talking with y'all about what I intended on doing. I should have at least told y'all, and I mean, the kind of folk you are, I think ultimately you'd have let me do what I needed to do. It's just, it's been a while since I've been told something so directly like that. Since what happened back in Seor the other night, I've remembered what it's like, what it was like for me, and it reminded me of my goals and what it's going to take for me to get to it. And I got a bit well, I didn't consider that I'm traveling with y'all, because back in the past it was just me, and when I was told to do something I just did it, and it's how I survived. So things being what happened in Sayor the other night, and then being told something so direct like this again, kind of, I forgot. So I'll make sure to be up front with y'all going forward.
I think that's the most important thing. I mean, at this point, we're both hiding secrets. You know, everybody has their own thing, but ours are kind of connected now at this point.
Yeah.
And we were given a task to get this guy back. And not only did we not complete the task, but it feels like we didn't get anything out of it.
I mean, we got the thing we were here for, which was the location of the base. But, yeah, we didn't get much else out of it.
I mean, there's a part of me that, of course, selfishly, like, you know, you're greeted by the oldest human you've ever seen, and, you know, the only thing you can think is, I wonder what kind of knowledge they carry, and then all of a sudden the life gets sucked out of them and it's over, you know? And I think that's more of the reason why I'm so upset at you over everything else. It felt like I had a chance to further myself, and it was just squandered.
Yeah, I get that.
But I guess what you did too was also selfish, so we're not too different.
In some ways, yeah, but fortunately for you, we've got plenty of differences still.
Yeah. I look a lot better than you.
I ain't gonna fight you on that one.
So, before I got mad at you, you were teaching me a language.
Oh, yeah.
speech. And if you've got time and we're trying to mend this bridge, I'd like to learn a little more.
If that's what you want, be glad to.
And then spend some time learning deep speech. And then I'll go sleepy night night.
That's it, huh?
You don't want to also have a conversation with Blackstar and Rezzyr or Louise. Rather?
Blackstar and Louise.
Yeah. Talk to literally everybody.
Not all beef is squashed, but I had to start squashing the beef.
It was a good start. Really good start.
Does Rezzyr's body like move? I'm not asking you. Asking. Like, does it move when you laugh? Because that's what I'm like. That's because even though it was telepathic, so I just imagining you actually laughing and your body's just completely still. It's so straight. It's straight faced.
No, when I laugh, I laugh.
Okay.
Okay. Well, he looks human. He just looks
Sickly.
Sick.
and gaunt. Yeah, sick. He still looks like
malnourished.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
To me, I picture Arthas as he's falling as the Lich King. Like,
It's been a long time since I've seen what you're referring to, so I can't really.
Fair enough, but he's just really pale and very like he's not dead, but he's definitely just different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pale, sunken features.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he closes his eyes, he might be able to pass for being dead. Or just
fair.
If his eyes are open, just staring off, just, dead eyes. Yeah, definitely has that look to him. Yeah, I guarantee that there would be additional conversation with Louise before this long rest,
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely.
I don't know about Black Star, but for sure Louise.